like all of the different bits and bobs, like little villages and things.
You can take them up there and show them how they get the water.
Oh, you can buy everything you can imagine. There's even like a £250,000 crystal bathtub.
Is that a supper club there? Right there?
Oh no, that's a
So it's all about the bonding line.
Choose your own war room. Rats inside.
These could never blow down, could they?
that's like grandma's stove.
Oh my God.
It's not grandma's stove's not far from that anyway.
No, not far. 52 years old.
Hey.
What? Gary's jumping. St. James's Park.
Where is Kensington Palace? It's across the way, isn't it?
We'll go there too.
But it's on the other side, isn't it?
There's the British flag on top. Because it looks like they have news crews out, so we'll find out what's happening.
Got the cops all out here.
Yeah, something's going on today. You guys. Oh, did I? Hold on. Is it recording now? Did I miss it?
How come you didn't get the hay off the side like they do? Look at the front of that. But look at the...
A little more than. Isn't that amazing? Someone's polished.
Were the horses all out today?
They got things to do. They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so clean, flawless. I didn't know that's what Sebring was.
Coming in the restaurant?
Yeah, he's coming over to Europe for 2 films for the last week.
Get out first.
This is Portsmouth Harbor. This is where they boarded all of the ships. Top of the morning.
They want us to go.
This is the Portsmouth yard where all the boats to go across the English Channel started.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The captain, the carriage you and the crew of the Normandy Express would like to welcome you on board. We will be arriving in Normandy this morning at 10:30 British time, 10:30 British time. This move is expected during the crossing. We ask you to give special attention, including verified exits. Smoking is also forbidden in the toilet. Please note that the message falls is sounding during the
So what did you do? Did you only buy one ticket? You can.
Oh, so it is. I've got a ticket for you.
You can only get the one.
Yes. I'm happy though, so it's fun.
This thing is amazing. I don't quite understand how to work it all.
I don't think you can get there through the door, can you?
Yeah. But yeah, I can.
Here.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean,
fine.
is it shut now?
I got it. No, move. It's okay. It's okay. Move out of the way.
So he said always around this area, and that sign showed horses and a kind of castle. It's one of the biggest stud farms in France. It was occupied by the English during the 100 Years' War in France. All Normandy was English except Mont Saint-Michel. That was between the 14th and 15th century. And the English were all over in Normandy and on the small island over there trying to get hold of Mont Saint-Michel because it was a symbol, very important symbol of power in France. And we can see the river on the left, which is almost dry. It's very low tide.
Everybody can drive all this way up here.
No, only the professionals. There?
So when the tide comes in, that all floods, huh?
Yeah, everything.
Good thing we had that. Go to the bathroom. She's right in. We're gonna stay right.
That's what you say.
No, Patrick, come on.
Alan is known for his trickery.
Well, I know, but I might have to sit down and wait for it. That's as far as I'm going.
It's pretty much there.
Okay, I ain't going to see no monks. Now this is it.
That's it.
And Alan, I'm gonna start down after this here.
That's it. That's it. Only.
I don't know if we're going right or left or right.
Came down the exit, didn't I?
Glenn, you could never do it.
Thank you.
Do they have a thing you can write down? No. Sitting there in that hot car. Christ's sake.
It's hilarious.
Walk on the shade side.
Yeah.
This is not all about anyone else but itself. Well, pretty much there. He did say there was about 1,000 steps involved.
Yeah, well. Oh, why don't you stop preaching? Right. I need a bed.
These steps would have put Gary in the grave.
Great, but it would have put me right along with him.
Sorry. How do you do it? Patrick, is this way?
Push the blue.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. See. I don't know. What's over here?
That's it.
Are you gonna ask God to forgive your ex-husband? Mom?
Yes, Gary, I'm dying up here in the church.
No.
Rescue me.
Are you gonna ask God to forgive your ex-husband?
No. I'm on my way.
Those are fireplaces.
It's for Grandma, Nolan, it's for Belva, and it's another one for my mother.
There he is, right there. He's sitting in there.
What is this?
It's how they get the water up here, I think.
Mieli, czytali książki, pisali manuskrypty. I wtedy nie było tłumaczy.
I think we've documented this pretty well. Look at Mom, you're ready to get out of here.
Come all the way up here to get that. How do you get down there? The other stairs there.
Huh?
Is there more stairs over here?
Lean back against it, stick your arms out. This is where it all started. It's there.
This is the main road that the British used to get through Beirut. Imagine how tanks and things got through here. And what's the pronunciation of this beach?
Right, it was
Aramonche.
Aramonche Beach?
This is actually on Gold Beach.
Dole Beach.
Gold.
Gold Beach.
Yep.
Gold Beach, where the British landed. There's the big wall that the soldiers had to climb up once they landed.
I always allow plenty of time for photographs, but I like to give my commentary first, and then you've got plenty. When the attack came ashore, they came ashore at low tide.
This is a 25-pound German cannon. Pontoons that are sinking that they use to drive the trucks and tanks over. 25 millimeter cannon.
Is there a museum in there?
Part of the bridge that set on those pontoons that they use to drive the tanks across. These are portable bridges. 25 millimeter cannon that the United States used. 25 millimeter cannon the Germans used.
This is the gun battery of Lons-sur-Mer. Men inside were vaporized, never seen again. Now the Germans who were here were so surprised by this, they thought that the Allies must have a secret weapon. And the modern day expression for that is shock and awe. Let's go and have a look at it.
Okay.
That is a very dangerous structure. And it is as dangerous as it looks. Now, France does not have the same kind of liability laws that you have in the States. But if you choose to go inside there and a lump of concrete falls on your head and kills you, you don't get to sue anybody, least of all your toy. So walk to the edge, but I really don't recommend you go in. It is far too dangerous to do that. You get bus groups going in there, and it's very stupid.
Yeah, you can see the cracks right there where it could fall.
Well, they need to, because the Germans employed the French to build these places. They were built with conscript labour and with volunteer labour who were paid.
Well, no wonder they got away with it. Nobody was telling anybody what was going on here.
3 8-hour shifts per day.
And then would they camp out here to live as well?
They lived under the field. So in order to disguise that, the Germans, when they were building these bunkers, they put rolled up balls of newspaper into the wet cement, and when the cement had dried, they pulled the paper out and they filled the holes with dirt, and they grew grass out of the holes. And the grass broke up the straight outline profile of the roofs of the casemate.
Interesting. Wasn't this fascinating?
And the most important thing was to have your mouth wide open when the cannon was fired, because if you didn't, the concussion not only would rip your eardrums out, but also if you had your teeth clenched, would shatter your teeth. So they had to make their own electricity, which means generators, which means fuel. But yet you're standing in one of 15,000 similar structures.
15,000?
15,000 similar
Wow.
structures.
Wow.
Do you mind your head? That concrete's very unforgiving.
Yes, good.
Where the bomb fell? This? Or the...
And it was their job to identify the targets and to telephone back to the appropriate gun the coordinates of where that gun should fire. The gun would fire, they would spot the shots, and then phone back the corrections. Yeah. Up a bit Fritz, left a bit Hans, just don't aim low.
God, it is a gorgeous day.
Oh.
Gary's gonna enjoy this because I'll videotape the whole thing, and then he can watch it and listen.
Which beach is this?
I don't know.
I decided to change direction completely and become a tour guide here at the D-Day landing beaches, and that was in the mid-90s.
Oh, this is much more fun.
Yes, it's a concrete bunker for munitions. Yep.
They could keep the stuff down there.
Oh.
That's what those square...
What's that over there?
Another one of these over here. Right, so this is a Tobruk pit. The Germans developed this self-contained concrete structure that sits in the ground or in the sand, and moreover provides a stable base from which to launch, in this case, a mortar. Now there are thousands of these here in Normandy, but what makes this one so interesting is the original graffiti that occurs on it. And here you can see it's dated, and it's been painted in so you can see it, right? I don't know who he was, but importantly you've got the date. 26th December 1942.
Oh, 2 days after you.
Now,
Yeah.
what he's trying to tell you there, what his message is that even in the middle of winter, on the day after Christmas Day, we were out here laying concrete.
She was born December 24th, 1942.
Oh really? Oh, well, there you go. 2 days old.
Yeah.
Whoop. How extraordinary.
Like a day. I was born almost at midnight, so...
Yeah. Well, there you are.
Hey.
Then you've got graffiti horses here. Now the horse was a ubiquitous animal here in Normandy. You were just a day old or so when...
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
My
Frank,
mother has no problem playing up for the camera. Wow.
I broke my ankle here a couple of years ago and it's never properly healed.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film The Longest Day?
Yeah.
And this bunker features extensively in that film, but importantly it was the film set for where the German officer who on the very early morning of D-Day is very pissed off. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, he's in his bunker, he's being got up because it's been a false alarm as far as he's concerned. He says, they won't come today, the weather's far too bad, it's rough, it's cold, it's miserable, I'm going back to bed. And before he does, he takes another look through his gun slit and he's amazed to see that thousands of ships.
I fell in a bar. I may have had a few drinks. Yeah, just take your time, Mom. I mean, with this, yeah, it's just with the water and this is so amazing. Does this make you feel different knowing the dates?
No, I mean, I
I mean, it's
I
like,
saw that Longest Day. You should get that film. Gary's got it.
attacking
Yeah,
Russia.
it was good.
Yeah.
So, you know, it changed. But here you can see the holes in the roof again.
Closer this way, but before you get to the other shade, looks like there's something.
Not
Go
very
up on the other lane, you
far
can get them
away.
better, Alan.
Yeah. Let's go in this thing, dude, wasn't it?
Oh, he said we can go in?
Yeah.
It's safe? I gotta turn on night vision so we can see.
Where are you, Alan? I don't think I like it down here. Alan? Yeah. Where are you?
Oh, here, Mom, get behind me.
No,
You,
all right.
you can look through the night vision,
No, it's all
and
right.
it can show you. Look. Look.
Oh, it's the stairs there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, put me in.
It's a, careful, because this is
I see, Patrick. Look at it. The hell, there's stairs here somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Do you have your sunglasses on?
Yeah.
Take your sunglasses
not at
off.
all. I see it. I like this stuff from yesterday. Oh, this wouldn't be for me. Oh, there was something now. Okay.
Let's turn this off night vision.
Okay.
All right, Diana, look this way. It's a little bit dangerous.
What a war, huh?
We gotta go back up there where he is.
See it? That's a better view.
The Amaranches from where we were. All the way where we are now. That's where we just were inside.
Get the chill with the poor people in there. Not having much. Oh,
Not having much what?
they slept in there?
No, they slept in barracks under the cornfield there.
Oh, Jesus. Where was the guy that was in his pajamas when they woke him up?
In a house.
Okay, now
as
what?
we look along the coast here,
That's beautiful.
and there was a big cork on the end of it, would disgorge their load of straight into, and they laid pipe.
What?
Wow.
How's that possible?
That's what they did. Omaha Beach, 4.5 miles wide. And that's where we're going next.
Terrific.
She had the pipeline coming.
Very good. But one thing you can't do with these, you can't cross your legs when you're sitting on them.
Goes for a lot of things, don't they? Fishing.
I don't think you can do fishing, but for horse racing,
Okay.
for Henley Regatta, anywhere where you're standing for a length of time, particularly with a glass in your hand.
Are those is it raspberries?
So the blackberries.
Blackberries?
Yeah, nature's barbed wire and stuff.
Now, these are natural bushes for this area?
Oh yeah.
So you had to come and cut through this stuff as well?
Oh yes.
That must have been terrible.
Not easy.
It's interesting that they consider poppies weeds. This is really breathtaking. The watercolor is so different here on this side of the channel than it is in, let's say, Brighton.
Yeah. It's possibly because you're looking at it in Brighton. You're looking to the south. Here you're looking to the north.
Yeah, this is outstanding. What?
However many thousands of bodies
Yeah.
everywhere.
Well, we had
Where do they go? Wait, would they just leave them piled up here and then and before?
Called GR units, which were Braves registration, and they followed behind the troops with the shovels and the body bags and so
Where they
on.
buried them?
And they were buried usually much where they fell, but the places where they were buried were marked.
Oh.
And the Allies were marking their own dead soldiers, but many of the Germans were just buried full stop without any marker at all. And they're finding We're still finding German bodies here in Normandy all the time.
They let you swim here, though.
Oh yes.
Omaha Beach. Diana, take a couple pebbles. Take a couple pebbles.
You're good at that. Take some pebbles.
Take a couple pebbles. Take a couple pebbles.
Oh, yeah, I'm going.
What these guys couldn't see down there with these camouflaged German positions was a fellow called Heinz Severlo. The guilt of what he had done here had driven him to ground. Heinz Severlo's machine gun nest was in that uneven piece of ground up there, about 40 yards away. In a lull in the fighting in Omaha, Heinz Severlo took time to survey the scene on the beach below him. Quote, "For the first time I realized how many dead had been washed up on the beach below by the high waves and rising tide in our sector. On a stretch of beach about 300 meters long and several meters wide, lay hundreds upon hundreds of lifeless bodies of American soldiers, in places several on top of each other. The wounded moved slowly in the blood-soaked water. Most of them crawled to the edge of the beach where there was an embankment about 1.5 meters high to find shelter behind it. I could only see about 50 to 60 GIs, who occasionally ducked and ran around on their own." And we'll pick this up again when we get to the German cemetery.
We gotta go up over there.
Well, that they acknowledged. I'm sure that's probably true. I'm sure a lot more people than they say that kind of shit now.
All of the interesting stuff is on the lower left.
This is walking down to the graves. This is the American cemetery. How beautiful they keep it.
All of the headstones have been made from a particular form of Italian marble, so chosen that with cleaning they maintain a uniformity of colour. And uniformity is the essence of the cemetery. All are equal, all are uniform in death. Now, for the sharp-eyed amongst you, if you look to the headstone on the left, you'll see that there's another Roosevelt there, and that's Quentin. Quentin and Theodore were brothers, but Quentin, you probably can't see it from here, but he's a First World War casualty. He's the only First World War burial in this cemetery, and when the family said, you know, we'll bury Theodore here, they also asked for Quentin to be exhumed from his burial place 250 miles north and buried next to his brother. So brothers side by side. It's generally assumed that Theodore died peacefully of a heart attack in an apple orchard in a place called Carenton on July the 12th, 1944. But times move on. He may have been killed by enemy action. He might have even been killed by friendly fire, but you don't do that to a president's son. We don't know.
How old was he?
He was 57. He was the oldest combat soldier here. His brother was 20 when he was killed. 44 pairs of brothers to be buried here in the cemetery. And do you know the story of the Nylans? Not that you should do.
Mm-mm.
Well, let's see how long it takes. There were 4 Nyland brothers. The first, Edward, was missing in action, presumed killed in Burma. These 2 died on D-Day. He, Preston, in fact, dying as a result of his wounds the following day.
Okay.
Now, 4 brothers, 1 missing in action, presumed killed. These 2 died. The 4th brother was with the 101st Airborne. When the 101st Airborne told the 4th brother, Fritz, that his 3 brothers were probably dead, he didn't take it too well. And in fact, he was sent home to his mother, as was his right. Now, this of course is the basis of the film Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
It wasn't Ryan, it was Nyland. And here they are. Sorry?
He would refuse a wheelchair. But the taxpayer dollars are paying for a crane. And
That's right.
on the debate on the Queen, I think you have to keep her.
Lives her life as a model example. So, in a way, her son has to be a model example. So, I don't know that.
This is the part I'm putting on YouTube. Go ahead.
A moonscape, as you can see, of craters made from aircraft bombs and from heavy naval shells. Beach about 10 miles away. That's Utah Beach. And the whole invasion fleet had to sail from England. The Americans decided to send in 225 Rangers under the command of Colonel James Earl Rudder. And it was their job in the very early morning of D-Day, about 4 hours before the attack came in on Utah Beach. It was the Rangers' job to land at the base of the cliffs, climb the cliffs, engage the Germans, kill them, find the guns, destroy them, and then decide what to do after breakfast.
It's kind of a stupid thing to do, but it's kind of funny.
This is why an ambulance comes here every day. Every day is an ambulance here. Broken limbs, deep cuts.
How are you feeling? You getting tired? Speeding up and getting
and get back so we can do a little shopping. Structure though.
Like the Germans are busy.
Base of the tree. The trees have been sponsored to quite a large sum of money, maybe 500 euros a year. And the money thus raised goes towards the upkeep and the maintenance of the 5 German military cemeteries in the area. It is only funded to 2% of what it needs by German government. And the reason for that, simply, is because Germany lost the war. The headstones are those tablets that you see lying flush with the ground, Typically they've got 2 names, but can be anything up to 6. And this used to be the American cemetery here. And went to America above Colville for the final burial place. The French said to the Germans, okay, you can use this bit of land to bury your dead after the American soldiers had been moved over, except there wasn't enough space to bury them individually because the Germans had over 22,000 to bury in an area where 9,000 had come from. So that's the reason why you have a multiple number to each headstone. The group of 5 standing crosses that you see is the emblem of the German War Graves Commission. It comes from a hilltop in Poland, where in the First World War were buried 1 German officer and 4 other ranks, the German officer having the largest cross, so they adopted that as a symbol of the German War Graves Commission. And they're not gravestones, they're not headstones as such, but they're plot markers, so you can navigate your way around the cemetery. The cemetery is dominated by a mound, which you see in front of you, which is a charnel mound. It's a mound of human bones, bits and pieces of humans, picked up off the battlefield, stacked up, covered up with dirt, and then a statue put on top entitled Mother and Father, or the Grieving Parents. Most of the death casualties here were incurred in late July, early August 44. It's something very nasty called the Falaise Pocket, where the Germans, having realised that they were losing here in Normandy, tried to get out south of Caen, but were caught in a trap by Patton coming up from the south, Montgomery coming down from the north, at a place called Falaise, where thousands of German troops tried to get out, but they were bombed by the Americans and by the British, and tens of thousands were killed, and this is the result of that. Statistics: 80% of the burials in here were under the age of 20, and the oldest is 75 and a half. Quebecs and Belgians, Italians, Russians, Poles, even a few Germans, as it happens. All of these stones are made from Portland stone, which is a natural stone occurring on the south coast of England. Most of the city of London, the business centre of London, is built from this material, as is St Paul's Cathedral. This is also a burial cemetery. That is, they've been brought in off the battlefield, buried once only. And the reason there are so many here is because on the other side of the hedge there to the left, there was a field hospital, a very large field hospital, along the top of which would grow a dense screen of bushes and trees and undergrowth, often forming a canopy over the road. So when the soldiers advanced here with their vehicles, because the vehicles had to use these roads, they were unable to be covered by air cover because the aircraft couldn't see them.
Yeah.
So you had a choice either of using these roads or going across fields like that.
Which wasn't any better.
No, because you're completely exposed there as well.
You're completely wide open.
And of course gliders had to put down in that stuff too. But it's symbolic of American confidence and ability to come and do a job. And you see he's in casual pose there, looking down on the bridge saying, we did it. And just beyond is that lump of metal there is the most magnificent bronze in Normandy.
Okay.
Parking is typically a nightmare in St. Mary.
This is the famous church at St. Lee's that the paratrooper got his parachute caught in it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cherbourg was taken on June the 28th.
Yeah.
And he was...
Chevrolet. Patent used. Parachutist. This is the American glider. Glider. Inside the glider. They put them all in the front. This is a wrecked plane.
Have you met him?
Oh yes, yes. He's quite decent. To commemorate the names of the 14 soldiers who were killed on Utah Beach, they named the road systems after those dead soldiers. The Liberty Road, or the Road of Liberty, stretched from here to Bastogne. Every kilometre along that road, the French in 1947 put one of these things up. You see that concrete stub there?
Yep.
Now that is the stub end of an anti-tank wall, a concrete anti-tank wall that went all the way along the coast here.
Really? Tide's out.
Yeah. To Omaha. Here, everything that could possibly go right did go right, including a lot of things that could have gone wrong went right too. The pre-invasion bombardment here was very successful, very accurate. They had managed to smash a great many of the positions along here. This area here had been very heavily smashed by the pre-invasion bombardment, so they came ashore, you know.
Yeah.
So how did the people, the 14 people that died, die?
They died from mines. 193 men, as I mentioned, were killed in accidents transferring from the troop carrying ships. But there were the odd Germans around, but not very many, you know. Now, the two lumps that you see sticking out of the water over there, they're the remains of two merchant ships, of about 30 merchant ships, old ones that the Americans sunk here to provide a breakwater. The mines were bad news. They were, you couldn't see them.
Yeah, wow. That's a nice beach.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the wall would have had this kind of stuff on top of it.
It's quite nice. It's a bit lumpen maybe, but it's solid enough.
Yeah. It's just what I was asking about.
Imagining, was it?
Yeah. This is pretty much what they are like in Louisiana, in New Orleans as well. But they look perfect here. Like everything's well taken care of.
Now, this is a remarkable memorial. From this spot on June 6, 1944, Tech Sergeant Joseph Biley, 101st Airborne Division, began his war for the liberation of the people of Europe. Now, if ever there was an understatement, I think that is it, because...
Wow. Wow. Huh. My brother Sean, after going through so many different wars, why he chose to go back to Afghanistan and Iraq, he doesn't know how to do something different.
I think he needs some help, actually. And they worked out that the fighting was over there at Sainte-Mère-Église.
I like those brown striped ones. Those are kind of looking.
Here you're looking out over a typical stretch of it. And what it actually is, it's a swathe of low-lying land that cuts a path across the Cherbourg Peninsula from the southwest to the northeast.
2,000 years old, this tree. The pagans put it in. They make bow and arrow out of the wood. Entrance to the church that was bombed. See the hinges, the holy water. This is all that's left of the church. They claim that tree is 2,000 years old. It's a yew tree, and they make bows and arrows out of them. John Howard. This is where the gliders come in here to hold this bridge going into Cannes. The first glider landed there. The second glider landed there. And the third one is over by that marshland. And they held this bridge because right across this canal were Germans.
Turn of black and white stripes were painted on 24 hours before D-Day on all aircraft to stop our side from shooting them down. 28 men, 2 pilots.
So how old is this lady that runs this house?
She's the only woman who lies about her age in the opposite way. She claims to be 2 years older than she actually is, because she says she was 4 when the gliders came down, so therefore she remembers it, but in fact she was only 2 and she doesn't remember it.
You might like her, Mom. Come on, is the room good?
This is awful. You'll never get me on a cruise again.
Oh.
Tomorrow morning he'll wake up and say it wasn't so bad. Here.
That's the room.
Here. Just shut up now.
He's like the English patient.
Hold on a minute, babe.
You're okay. You have the key?
Yes, let's go.
Bye.
We'll be right back at it. Not long.
I don't know what's open, what's not open.
No, they were downstairs.
Let's go to the information.
There it is, right there.
The Tower of London.
Just stay right
The Mayor of London's office.
And that right there is Tower Bridge. That very ornate bridge, the double-decker bridge.
Tower Bridge.
You're gonna love this, Gary. This is where it all happens. Oh, actually, will you grab? See, now you see how the moat is constructed?
Yep.
Way up.
Does he think that we're gonna hold him up if he just needs to rest? Henry VIII. Gunpowder.
Stairs, aren't they?
This is the Thames River. Boat tour now.
I'm glad it's not raining.
It's fourth bridge to stand on this site since Roman times. First one fell down, the second one burned down, the third one was taken down stone by stone and sold. And this particular bridge was opened by Her Majesty the Queen in 1973. That's a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. It was the dream of an American named Sam Wanamaker to build that building. Sam devoted an awful lot of his life to its cause, but sadly Sam died before it was completed. But his daughter Zoe completed the project and scattered her father's ashes underneath the stage. Admiral Lord Nelson is also buried.
Cranes all
And
over.
the Duke of Wellington is also buried there. The ship on the right is the President. She was a First World War German gunboat. The white ship there, that's the Wellington. She was a Second World War Royal Naval sloop, and she's now permanently moored there. The bridge in front of us is Waterloo Road Bridge. It's known as the Ladies' Bridge because the ladies built this bridge for us, and a very nice job they did of it. It was built during the war years. It's Cleopatra's Needle. It was given to the people of this country by the Viceroy of Egypt to commemorate Nelson's victory over Napoleon in the Battle of the Nile. London's newest major tourist attraction, the London Eye, 135 metres tall. How many of you can see Big Ben? Hands up if you can.
Hands up if you can.
1 or 2. Well, I have to tell you, none of you can see Big Ben. Big Ben's a bell that lives in the clock tower.
We're probably in the next pod after this.
Canaletto painting.
It's a cathedral.
Yeah.
Patrick, get over there with your mother.
Gonna go buy our bling.
Starved. Fish and chips, whatever you wanted.
And then we scoot over to the price.
Otis, it's an Otis elevator. Gary? See the ground?
Otis. There's one of those
I
things.
see it. Okay, now let the doors close. Let the doors close now.
It's just waiting for someone to get in there, I think. There you go. So the mayor's Boris Johnson, and he seems like a total wacko. I mean, really, literally. But he's actually doing, I think, a pretty good job of being mayor.
I wonder how they did those pieces of. Oh yeah. Look at all them marbles all chipped.
The only thing Gary cares about churches are how to get out of them.
He doesn't what?
It's the Queen's like Royal Guard. It's an honor. It's an honor.
What the heck?
Take your hand off of it.
Oh my God. Where is that?
Right here, right now.
Oh, get rid of that.